So, as you all know, masculinity is not soft, protective, and nurturing in the way that femininity is, but it does not mean that it is equal to the dark tetrad features. It is more rational, analytical, logical, and aggressive than the feminine energy. It does not go with the flow, it wants structure, it wants a plan and control. When I say control, it is not the toxic, possessive kind of behavior. I'm not talking about abuse. If the feminine is like the river that flows, the masculine is solid, like a rock. It wants to know where, when, how, and what all the time. It wants to know. It's not comfortable in not knowing or in uncertainty. Masculinity is stability and security. In a family, when things go into chaos, it is this rock that helps get things into order. It helps you steady yourself when you are overwhelmed by intense emotions. You see where I'm getting with this? So, masculinity has nothing to do with aggressively trying to prove to others that you are above someone else or to demand someone else to be submissive to you. Masculinity is something that shows. You don't have to prove that you're powerful. It's like the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss always tries to stay superior to everyone else and always tries to prove he is superior to everyone else. And others are only subordinates to him. His only concern is his needs and goals and his own vision. He doesn't care about the lives or the growth of others. To him, it's all about proving what a great person he is, how he can control his subordinates with his own power, with his own restrictions, limitations, his own rules and regulations. That's what success means to a boss. Although to the leader, the subordinates are people with their own visions, with their own journey, their own goals and dreams. He's like the leader of a pack of wolves. It was John C. Maxwell who said, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." So a leader doesn't pretend to know. He knows. He accepts when he's wrong. He's not omniscient and he is open to other people's opinions. Other people's opinions are not considered personal attacks. I think you have heard a lot of people say that masculinity or the masculine person is a leader, is able to take control. But when they say that, people misconceive it as the other people having to be subordinate and submissive and passive to this dominant person. That is not what masculinity is. A masculine is a leader, but not a boss. A masculine is able to guide you through the right path for you, but it does not mean the masculine discredits or negates your own goals, desires, and dreams. A masculine is someone who is known to be wise with age-old wisdom and experience that will help you in order to succeed in your own journey. The masculine can, of course, show the way, but sometimes the masculine may not know the way. Whenever I think of masculinity, he is the ideal father figure. He's the one who's gonna say, "I got you, I got that figured out." People think of a masculine person as always angry, or like a bodybuilder, always in the gym, eating meat. Masculinity, in my opinion, is strong and resilient. Of course, strength manifests in different areas: the physical body, the mental body, and in the social sphere. Being able to lift things, endurance, and stamina surely is related to the physical body. But the masculine energy is something internal. It is at the core of your being, at the core of your personality. So when it comes to strength, I think of masculinity in terms of being able to control their impulses and emotional strength. I've heard Dr. Jordan Peterson speak of how aggression manifests in a man, or at least how aggression should manifest in a man. He says that a man is capable of tremendous aggression, given his biological propensity to be so too. However, you have to be able to control it and use that aggression at times when your family or the loved ones, when your fellow members are threatened because you are the father figure, you are the protector, you are the leader of the pack of wolves. So, really, masculine aggression is used to protect those you love and care for. And that is why it's extremely attractive when a masculine person defends and protects the ones he cares for. The masculine, on the contrary to popular belief, is extremely loyal. The idea that real masculinity is self centered and tends only to its own needs is a myth. As I mentioned before, masculinity is extremely loyal. People often tend to think that the masculine person tends to be more non committal. I'll talk about it a bit later. If you consider yourself more masculine and you take pride in sleeping with 1,000 girls or boys a week, oh boy, have you mistaken masculinity. So you're telling me you could not control your sexual impulses and let the high testosterone control you. You became a slave to your own biological instincts. Or a person calls you something critical and you start a fight and you start hitting them until they're injured. A slave to your impulses, that's all it is. A slave to your own impulses. That is not strength nor masculinity. If that's masculinity that you think of, it is definitely a distorted one. A masculine person is known to be strong enough to think before they leap, to attend to their impulses before they do something. They are known for their equanimity. I've heard people say very often that men are dominant and women are submissive. I've always found this questionable, assuming that men more often than not are dominant in masculine energy and women more dominant in feminine energy. Um, People say that men always say, you have to listen to what I say, follow my orders, or you'll suffer the consequences, or you should not do what you like, you shouldn't have a career, you shouldn't speak up. That's what I have heard people associate masculinity with. But the truth of the matter, if you have encountered people, masculine people who say this is the translation. This is what they're saying. You have to do as I say, so I can continue to perceive you as inferior to me and myself as superior to you, because it is only then I can feel powerful and in control. If you don't comply with my rules and regulations, then I feel out of control and powerless. And that makes me feel like a fragile little baby. That is exactly what they're saying. Now, don't get me wrong, this is different from an actual masculine figure in your life, dear to you, who is wise and is knowledgeable and is experienced and is strategic, telling you, hey, if you do things this way, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna go in the right path and it's gonna help you succeed. Please don't misconstrue narcissism and demanding respect when they are not respectable as masculinity. Narcissists get triggered, extremely offended, and even violent at the sight of critiques. I've heard some social media personalities who promote this alpha genre of content. They keep telling people all the time that, hey, I'm a strong masculine man. That's why I sleep with a ton of girls. Hey, I'm in control. I'm powerful and I'm going to use my power. You have to be afraid of me. If you try so hard, and I mean relentlessly hard, to prove to the world that you are something, the truth is you are more likely the opposite of that thing, or there's a significant part of you that believes that you are the opposite of that thing. And truly perspicacious people are able to see through you. See, Sigmund Freud, the father of the psychoanalytic tradition in psychology, said that the function of ego is to mediate the judgments between our pleasure instinct, which he called id, and our moral stance, which he called superego. The id tries to get its way no matter the consequences. It does not give any center stage to other people's opinions or how other people would feel if you do something. The id says, you know what? I'm gonna hit this person, I'm gonna abuse this person because I want to, and because I think it will give me some power over them. And the superego says, no, no, you can't do that. It is wrong to hurt somebody else. Now, if the person has a strong, healthy ego in this situation, the ego may say, okay, let me see what I can do to satisfy you both. Now, the ego thinks it wants power and control. The superego wants to do the right thing. Now, they put me in a little bit of a pickle. Let's do some boxing. Let's go to a rage room. Let's learn some skills. Let's do a degree that will equip us with the power to know about a certain subject so we'll be able to teach it to others who need it.
God, I feel so powerful.
There we go. The id is relatively satisfied. The superego is also satisfied. So the toxicity that many people see in some men, assuming men are dominant in masculine energy, those men who try to control, manipulate, attack, that is not masculinity. I wholeheartedly do not believe that there is something called toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. A masculine man is able to control themselves. Their ego is pretty strong and healthy. It does not compromise the moral stance nor the pleasure principle, but in some cases, it will sacrifice the pleasure principle in order to satisfy the moral stance. It takes a balanced approach. But people, like many infamous narcissists that we call alpha these days, and many of those you see on social media who claim to be strong men, are just suffering from a fragile ego. If you don't know what tarot is, it's a 78 card divination tool that is used currently, that is originally based on the Holy Kabbalah. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use it to explain to you how masculine energy manifests. The Emperor is associated with the zodiac sign Aries, which is ruled by the planet Mars, both fiery elements, which are associated with passion and action. The Emperor is a leader. He's a ruler, but not a dictator. He's wearing an armor underneath this red robe, as you can see. It symbolizes that he is protected from any emotional threats, responses, or vulnerability. This means two things: that his mind is occupied by his plans and leadership rather than his emotional body, and that he has a healthy, strong ego. Personal attacks won't work on the Emperor. Trying to attack his image won't work on him either, because he's true to his character and he has a very strong ego. He's confident within himself. He has a long white beard representing his wisdom and experience. You see, there's a slight hint of a river. This symbolizes that underneath all of this, he still has an emotional body. A weakness of the Emperor is that sometimes he may avoid taking care of his emotional well-being and stay preoccupied with everything else. I think this archetype helps describe the healthy masculine very well. This is the card of emotional equanimity and balance. The king sits on a granite rock in the middle of the sea, and the sea seems to be making waves. There's a ship passing by steadily despite the turbulent waves. This symbolizes the steadiness, the composure amidst the chaos. Like I said earlier, I don't believe in toxic masculinity. However, there is something called psychological illness, personality disorders, problems in personality, stunted psychological development, and I do not stigmatize any of it. However, equating masculinity or even femininity to the things that I mentioned before, to abusing others, active or passive aggression, narcissism, not being able to control their impulses, not taking care of their well-being, manipulation, toxic behaviors, equating these two precious concepts of masculinity and femininity to emotional dysregulation, to unbridled emotional problems, stunted psychological development is just unfair, because it invalidates the actual masculine figures, the brothers, the fathers, the uncles, whoever it is, the boys, the men, who are trying their best to be the actual emperor, the leaders, of the world, ones who try to take care of their family, the ones who strive to give out their wisdom and age old knowledge to other people, who try to lead, who try to always listen to other people's opinions. If you come across narcissists or those people that you associate with masculinity who are very negative, I just want you to know that that is not what masculinity is. It's just that they have problems that need to be resolved. Masculinity and femininity have their own strengths and weaknesses. Both can learn from each other. And that is the yin and the yang. Together, they make a unified being. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. Thank you for watching my video. And if you did like my video, if you do like my content, to make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a thumbs up, so it will help me with the algorithm to reach the right people and to create a safe community that will enable other people to share their own stories, their own opinions, and at the end of the day, that is my goal. So if you liked it, make sure to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel to receive something similar to this or something entirely different.